And we're live! Hello all and welcome back to the INVICTUS stream. My name as always is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and we are here once again with the amazing Mr. Gary Furlong.
By me, you are here!
Of course, the ever-present and lovely Ms. Jo Fallak.
I'm here too.
And of course, the one and only Mr. Tim Woods. Listen to that crowd tonight. They're going wild.
Love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we bring you a special treat. A Call of Cthulhu one-shot called The Hollow. That's right. Why a one-shot? Why in October? Why not? But I will tell you, because it is Extra Life. What is Extra Life, you might ask? Well, it is our charity drive. On November 6th, we will be streaming for 24 hours straight. A combination of video games, RPGs, spicy chicken wings, cooking videos, and music. Lots of music. We always play lots of music. And in order to do this, or rather, the reason we're doing this is to raise money for sick kids' hospitals. It is a very important cause for everybody. I mean, the world has had a real tough go of it, and there is nothing worse than having a sick child. So please, if you have the means, consider donating. The link is in the description of the video. If you don't have the means, that's okay. Hang out with us. Keep us company on the 24 hours, or join the Discord and chat along with the people who will be there. Keeping us company is a wonderful way to help without having to spend any money, because the 24 hours are long and lonely. Listen to all those crickets. It's sad. But no, I want to do a quick shout out to Merlin.
Yeah,
Huge round of applause for Merlin, who just yesterday or the day before pushed us over our $3,000 goal.
Violently pushed us.
I know. It's been
done.
crazy. So we have now surpassed $1,000, which was our initial goal. $2,000, not $3,000. And the $1,000 goal was me eating the spicy chip. The 2,000 I don't know yet, and the 3,000 I don't know yet. But we'll figure out something. Whatever else.
Spicy chips.
3 spicy chips
In a
at once.
sandwich
spice.
covered in hot sauce.
No, but we'll figure something out, and it will be worthwhile.
Eat your way out of the pit of chips.
All goals are
Eat your way
spice
out.
related.
We're gonna put you in a box of spicy chips.
You mean a
and you need to-
bathtub
We're
of
gonna
hot
bury
sauce.
you underground
Oh,
in a
man.
coffin
That
with
sounds-
spicy chips
I mean,
all
that
around
does sound
you.
that does sound awesome. So there we go. Jacob's here, Jessica's here, everybody's here. It's going to be a good time. So yes, again, because this is an Extra Life stream, if you're donating during the stream, we're going to highlight it with a little bit of that sound effect and say thank you. Joe will, shout out. And
I will. I'm watching. I
She's
got my
watching.
eyes on the prize.
She got her eyes on the prize. Show us your eyes. Yeah, there you go. Justin
what it
C
looks
says,
like.
glad to hear this is for such a great cause. Of course, there are always great causes, but we never need a reason to bring on Tim, because he is always a pool of joy.
Pleasure
Oh,
to be here.
listen to this.
Always a pleasure to be here. And always
No.
a pleasure to get to play Call of Cthulhu. As I said, my last game was my first, and so this is just exciting to get to play more.
Well, it's exciting because originally we were meant to have our player tonight, but it turned out that we're actually with the exact same crew as your first
All
game.
right.
I know, I didn't realize it till like an hour ago or whatever. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no one's playing the same character. Although you could just carry over this character.
I was like this close to being
Tempted.
let's bring the Irish nun back. But like, it doesn't have to be Tim that plays her. Like, canonically, she comes back all the time, but like, it could be someone else who plays her.
I would love if somebody else took up the Martha mantle. Oh,
Adding
my
her
gosh.
as an NPC now.
Oh my god.
Not the worst idea I've ever heard. That's
Not
for sure.
the least of which I believe everyone here can do a better Irish nun accent than I
No.
can. After last
me.
session, I
Oh, I
saw a lot of
don't-
evidence of
I don't
people
think
being able
so,
to do
Tim.
better Irish
No,
nun.
it was
Damn
a
it.
good. Listen, it was a subtle Irish New York. It had all of the makings of a real.
I've heard worse
an
in
attempt.
more professional productions.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
He's heard mine. But yeah, so Extra Life is going on right now. Again, join us November 6th. And again, if you feel the need or the desire, please consider donating. The link is in the description. Beyond that, a few quick announcements that we got coming up. I have been working on a number of fantastic Halloween horror spooks. First and foremost, a new episode of Malevolent is out now. Part 16, The Path, is available for you to download wherever you listen to Malevolent. Typically a podcast catcher or something like that. But if you're not really into Malevolent or the long form, I have a very special, short, 16-minute immersive audio experience available this Friday, the 22nd. You can download it from the Malevolent feed. What is it, you might ask? Well, it's a short that me and my friend Mark Harris created, wrote, directed, edited. It's called Seance. And what it is it's a short piece where you're meant to sit in a darkened room with the headphones on and close your eyes. And hopefully, it'll scare the crap out of you. It is coming out this Friday. Gary is already shaking his head.
I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna do it.
Do it. You should.
16 minutes?
Yeah. But
I'll die.
It's part meditation too. A lot of it, Mark has a lot of history in meditation, so part of it is getting you into the zone. It's really wonderful. But it is called Seance. It is available if you already subscribe to Malevolent, it will auto download. But this Friday, check it out,
awesome.
Share it.
It's
gonna
really
be a lot
good.
of fun. Yeah.
So cool. Love
I'm very
that.
proud of it. Well, yeah.
Can I just step in for a real quick second? Because
Yes.
you mentioned Malevolent, and you did not mention that Malevolent attained a cool award.
That's
An
right.
award?
You're
Was
right.
given an award?
Yes, Malevolent won, not first place, unfortunately. I don't know why I say won. Malevolent
Malevolent won
came
second place.
runner-up in the Discover Pods Audio Drama of the Year
Still
award.
medaled.
I'm proud of it. Yeah.
That's amazing. Because like I went to
Awesome.
vote for that and the list was huge.
Yeah, it came
Like
just
a really
behind
massive list.
Old Gods of Appalachia, which is a fantastic podcast. Yeah, so I'm second to that this year. Next year, number one, question mark. But thank you so much to everybody who voted. Donated
Donated a vote.
A donated vote. Additionally, Malevolent has also just surpassed 100,000 downloads as well. So big round of applause to Malevolent.
Fucking great.
Awesome.
Sorry
Doing
for
good.
cursing so
Back.
much.
Yeah. No, you can
Well
curse all you
deserved.
want. Look, there you go. 18 plus warning. You're fine.
This is not the sigil stream. This is the
Not the
Invictus
Sigil
stream.
stream.
Shit, fuck. Oh my god.
Fuck.
Vagina.
Vagina? Is that a swear word?
That's my swear word of the day.
Vast deference.
Vulva.
Additionally, next Friday, also on the Malevolent stream, I will be debuting, along with 8 other podcasts, something called 9 to Midnight. And 9 to Midnight is about an hour-and-a-half feature-length horror audio drama where me and 8 other popular podcasts, including The Storage Papers, The Cellar Letters, The Town Whispers, Nowhere on Air, Woe Begone, Hellgate City, Dead Letter Office in Nowhere, Ohio, or Somewhere, Ohio, and one more. Oh, and Wake of Corrosion. And me, along with those 8 others, have concocted an anthology of sorts. And we've edited it together, well, I've edited it together, in a long hour-and-a-half special that you can enjoy this week, Friday, the 29th of October. And that'll also be available on the Malevolent feed. And Gary, I noticed that you got scared. Is there a sound in your house you want us to investigate?
So, just for the people at home, I am at home alone right now because my wife is away on a business trip, and I don't do well with horror. I hear things that maybe aren't there, and my house is already like a creaky, boomy house. So, sometimes I hear a noise. I wonder what it is, who it could be, if it's something malevolent.
Too scary? Did that sound actually make you scared?
Well,
Is it dark where you are right now?
I mean, look how dark it is.
In Texas? It's the Hollow. It's
it's pretty.
pitch black.
You're standing in front of a giant iridescent bush. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, it's named itself.
It has. That's awesome. Anyway, and then and finally, a new episode of Dice Shame comes out tomorrow. So that is all that's coming up for us. That's lots.
Lots and lots.
Lots and lots. I can't believe that.
Tons.
Yeah.
You've been busy, Harlan.
I have been. There's also another one too, a module that I'm writing for Sigil, but that might not come out before Halloween, so we won't talk about that. Tim, what about you? Do you got anything major cooking that we want to jump on right now?
As always, the A24's Green Knight game that I worked on with them is still up for sale. I have my Cities and Towns book, and currently I am working on the sequel, the Dungeons book, which is going to be coming out hopefully sometime in 2022. And so look forward to that. And the set is going to keep growing in theory. So you're going to get, in theory, I like to think it's going to become like the encyclopedia of random tables over a few volumes. You'll pretty much be able to fulfill any random generation needs that you have for your RPGs.
Fantastic. And I do want to say, genuinely, we bought the Cities and Towns book, and I use it every week on the Tuesday night Sigil stream without a word of a lie. I keep it here. For example, do you guys remember that first battle that you had in that field, and then you checked that barrel, and I was like, oh, in the barrel is, I don't remember what it was. I pulled that from, I think it was a letter. It was like a letter from a group.
I got 3 bottles of lamp oil and a nice quill.
Yeah,
that's thanks to Tim.
That is thanks to Tim.
It's a beautiful illustration. Yeah. It's like the GM was like, I don't know, I generated something, and the players were like, we remembered. It was like this is specific. It's the kind of like very player focused, like stuff GMs don't think about, like what's going to be in the barrel. They'll never look. Don't worry about it. Then of course they look. You got to generate it. There you go. Beautiful.
And the best compliment I can give is that once I gave them a quill, I then added a quill maker to the town because I realized that there needed to be a reason. So not only is Tim's book fantastic for GMs on the fly, but it is also something that is necessary for any GM when they're pushing forward in their campaign. So huge thank you to Tim. Listen to that applause tonight.
Love to see it in good use. It sounds like you hit the nail on the head using it.
There you go. Have to compliment our friend. Anyway, that is it for all this awesome intro stuff. I think we're ready to get scary. What do you all say?
Yeah,
do
it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the Hollow. It is Thursday, March 16th, 1922. It's the end of a long, cold winter in Arkham. Though the frost is yet to lessen its grip, the smell of rotting leaves and softened topsoil fills your senses with spring, even if only a fleeting glimpse of it. Despite its length, the winter proved fruitful for you and your team of investigators. The 3 of you have been working well together. A slew of high-profile cases landed your names in the Arkham Gazette. Reactions to the case of the Shattered Eye spread as far north as the town of Harper's Hill, and even painted the pages of the Lamplighter in Leary. It was no surprise that you were all well sought after those cases closed. A slew of small-time robberies and straightforward mysteries landed in your laps, each with their own difficulties, but none so tough as to stop your team's progress, or your never-ending pursuit of truth. Today's case seems no different. Mrs. Connie Nichols hasn't seen her husband in almost 48 hours. He lost his job at the bank on Tuesday morning and came home that afternoon, cork high and bottle deep, having tried to drink away his embarrassment. Connie, the wife, tried her best to stay patient, but laid into him hard. The fight was quick and quiet, or so the neighbors say. Andrews never one to raise his voice very much, but he left in a huff and hasn't been back since. You poked and prodded a little bit around and found out the following information. That Mrs. Nichols told the police, but given the circumstances, figured the fight and the lost job led him on a bender, the police assumed. To them, it wasn't really a missing person, more of a fight. He'd come back soon. Mrs. Nichols was convinced that he would have come home by now, and that something went wrong. And that when he's feeling down, he likes to play cards, though he's god-awful at them. You've beaten around this area of Arkham well enough to know that if a man with no card was looking for a game, there's only one place to get it. Edwin's Bar. So, with Mrs. Nichols' $50 up front in your pocket, a picture, and a promise to a young wife, you each enter the dark and seedy downstairs of Edwin's Bar. Each of you walks down a set of these creaky steps. There's sort of a small landing before passing through the door. You're familiar with this bar, but none of you have ever been before. Tim, who are we looking at?
Well, Willie is a young man, maybe 22, red hair, but he's already starting to go like a little bit bald a little bit, and he's really eager though. He's got a lot of youthful energy. It looks like you can tell from looking at him that he did grow up like maybe we're in Boston, is that right? And I might have grown up in Boston, is that correct?
Yeah.
He grew up in maybe a seedier part of Boston, but he's now, got a steady job, and he's working with the papers sometimes, and he dresses rather nicer than he has in the past. And so he's wearing a kind of set of suspenders with a little jacket over it, and then slacks, and kind of a no tie right now, but when he's working, he'll wear a tie and like a bowler hat, and he looks really adorable when he's running around trying to chase the story. He doesn't have his most distinctive feature, which is his camera, which he is very worried about and starts to get a little more street. They don't touch my camera. Don't touch. He's always focused on his camera, so you can almost see his hands working right now, like he's normally gripping and protecting it in a place like this. He decided to be smart and not bring it this time around.
Yeah, and I think, Willie, maybe you were the one who tipped off the Lamplighter and the other papers, the Arkham Gazette, to sort of give what the three of you have been sort of dubbing your agency, your little investigative trio, putting these stories in. So a bit of the promotional element has landed on your shoulders successfully.
Doing a lot of great work out here. People should be paying attention. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And you sort of say that nudging Joe. Joe, who are we looking at?
We are looking at Iris Sanderson. She is a woman in her late 40s. She's on the other side of attractive. Maybe she was a looker in her younger years, but she's going gray at the temples. She's kind of let herself go a little bit around the midsection. She's got a kind of too coarse for the weather, like a winter wool skirt on that's ankle length, and her pantyhose on the one side is got a run in it she hasn't noticed yet. She's got kind of ugly brown patent leather high heels, and she's gripping onto Willie's arm, maybe unnecessarily, as they go down the stairs. Oh, I've never been in a place like this. I mean, respectable women wouldn't be. It's so dim.
Yeah, and I feel like you kind of look through, and as you do, maybe Gary's character cleans the glass a little bit, and we see Gary. Who are you?
My name is Ricky Jones. He will be he's completely bald, still in his mid-20s, but bald and kind of like world-weary looking already, like not as if he maybe doesn't love people. He likes these two because they're his friends and he knows them. Previously, or maybe currently, works as a janitor in the Arkham PD.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is kind of, hopefully secretly, how he comes by a lot of his information when he shouldn't know stuff that he does, because Ricky's not above, for the right price, sneaking into some offices. He's got the keys.
Absolutely.
So,
Sticky Ricky.
Yeah.
He's a friend, yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Clean off the window, be like, yeah, they said the janitor here must be a lazy ass. I mean, you'd never get away with that kind of stuff where I come from. God, this is absolutely ridiculous.
this janitor. Fantastic. Yeah, and the three of you sort of take a moment to pause and breathe as you continue down the stairs, knowing that this is most likely the place where Mrs. Connie Nichols' husband would have been. And as you move down the stairs, the sound of ruckus laughter and hot jazz pour out as you open the door. At the bottom of the set of the stone steps lies Edwin's bar. Though name alone has caused this place to come up in a few of your smaller cases, as I said, none of you have had the pleasure to enter this establishment before. The thin staircase continues down to a large open balcony that overlooks a smoke-filled lower level, filled with live music and gambling tables. The circular metal staircase connects this upper level with the lower, and as you enter, a large bouncer stands before you wearing a tuxedo. Behind him, on this upper level, you see lounge chairs and a couch. A few tables for dining are here with cigar-smoking men and well-dressed women who seem to be deep into the drink. Before you can move any further, Willie, the bouncer, maybe sticks a fat finger into your chest and sort of looks you up and down. Can I help you?
He's looking me mostly down. Willie is distinctly on the shorter side, despite how he tries to carry himself. Hey, you should be really recognizing us, honestly. We're not regulars around here, but we're kind of well known. Is there a problem? Can we go inside now? What's the holdup?
Kind of looks you up and down, and he's like, I don't know. And he kind of looks between the three of you. What do you want to do to this guy? You want to fast talk him, bribe him, persuade him?
Just stab him outright,
Just stab him right off the bat.
Stab him in the dick.
Just go
stab
for
him in the dick. It's a great idea, dude.
Old dick twist.
Yeah, you can tell that he's sort of meant to keep the younger riffraff out. And you, looking like a journalist, has got his eyebrow raised.
I will say, to the point you just made, Willie is kind of the younger riffraff that, like, he probably keeps out on a regular basis.
He's doing his job.
He's already seeming very defensive to this guy's fairly innocuous questions, and he just goes, "Listen, we just want to have a nice time. What's the problem?" And I'm sure it's not the first time that Willie's friends have had to, like, diffuse a situation that he's needlessly escalating right now a little bit.
Yeah, you know, the guy's got like a low brow. He's sort of looking at you. He doesn't really understand that you're getting heated. He's sort of just a brick wall of a guy. Mm-hmm. But if you want to give me a fast talk or persuade or an intimidate, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. I imagine that this is kind of, I was almost imagining, okay, I will say it's fast talk, because that's kind of what I saw as more believable. Although I imagine this is also like Willie's interpretation of, like, charm. He's that bad at charm that he's like, I don't know, I just want to be your friend, kind of. But this is more like fast talk. He's just honestly
I'd be fine with either. I love
his
both.
ways past this situation without causing that much trouble. Ooh. I just got an 89. My skill is 50, but that's not doing me any good now.
Yeah, so he pushes the finger into your chest a little harder, and you sort of take a step back. And he's like, no entry for hoodlums. And as he's starting to, like, lean forward,
Iris steps forward a little bit, and she's gonna play on the older woman trope. Maybe she's hoping to remind him of his mom. Excuse me. How? This is rude, is what this is. I don't know. You certainly aren't at capacity, and we are paying patrons. And I've never been treated like this in any kind of establishment in this city. What a disgrace. I want to speak with your manager right now.
That's amazing. I want to give you a bonus die first off, because that's great. I feel like that's intimidation. So roll with advantage on your intimidation.
Okay. I don't have great intimidation. Can I potentially charm him instead?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Charm. Because you're reminding him of his mom.
That's what I'm
Maybe he
hoping.
doesn't have his mom's head in the freezer at home. Who knows?
It takes all kinds.
Who
Murderers, not
doesn't these
murderers. Okay, that was good. That's a hard success.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. You see, he's like, oh, sorry. Yeah, mom. I mean, lady. I mean, mom. I mean, yeah, sorry. And he, like, steps away, and it's very clear that he's very intimidated by you. Fantastic job as you guys all enter sort of the bar.
I should say.
Like, brushing myself off.
Yeah. Willie gives a little stiff upper.
Just the slightest, and I definitely like look over, like thank you, and just mouth to you, like I very much saw that you saved my ass there.
Of course.
So
Ricky
good.
will pat him on the back and be like, "Hey, you actually did better than usual, so win-win."
I feel like you did pretty good on that one. Yeah, I feel like I had it.
You were doing fine, honey. You did great.
Yeah, you enter the bar. The sweet smell of cigarette smoke and champagne fills you with warmth. It washes over you. And even though it's Thursday night, the feeling here is that of a weekend, because after all, it is St. Patrick's Day. To your left, the bartender is pouring drinks for a pack of rowdy Irishmen who are getting an early start to the celebrations. Like I said, there's a few couches to your right, and then down on the main floor, down this circle, iron walkway, just tables fill the lower level. You see some people dancing, and yeah, you have a sort of a moment to yourself.
I just wanted to say thank you, boys, so much for taking me along on this expedition. I know that, I get cooped up in the office so much, and it's just nice to stretch my legs,
Yeah. Don't even worry about it. It's all fun out here.
Our pleasure.
So,
Do you know what the husband looks like?
Yeah, so you have a photo that the wife gave you. You know his name, Andrew Nichols. And like I said, he lost his job. They got into a big fight. He sort of left in a tizzy. And you know that he likes to play cards. That's sort of all you can kind of gather from the moment.
I'll try a spot hidden on the tables. See if we see him.
Great idea. Yeah. So, I think Ricky walks over to sort of the balcony, takes a look. In the meantime, Willie, what does Willie do?
I would almost be taking up a seat, assuming that we're okay splitting up kind of in this bar and kind of taking up separate areas. I just grab a seat of my own so that I just have a different vantage point maybe than
Do you sit at the bar maybe?
Does.
Because the bar is sort of close to the edge, you can kind of look over.
That's perfect. Yeah, I'll sit at the bar then.
Yeah, and you sit up, and the bartender wipes off his being, hey, have a seat here, mister. And he so what can I get you? And he immediately starts harassing you.
Appreciate it. Just a rum is good. Thank you.
Rum, all right. And he walks
I'm a
away.
little nervous.
And Iris, where are you?
Iris has the photo in hand.
Yeah.
And she makes her way to the ladies' room.
Nice.
She wants to snoop around and see if anyone's seen this guy. She secretly suspects that he's got a mistress that he met here. And she wonders maybe if any of the ladies in the bar know this guy's face.
Awesome.
So she heads to pout her nose.
Yeah, so you head down the spiral staircase, the clink of your heels as you meet the warmth and the heat of the dance floor, and you cut across between these tables, smoke clouding your view as you walk towards the swinging door. And as you enter, you see ladies lined up, powder. The music is just as loud in here.
They're
and
smoking long cigarettes.
Oh, they're all smoking long cigarettes
Yeah.
and all that kind of
I
stuff.
want to go to this place.
Me too.
Yes.
Gary, what did you get for your spot hidden?
50 out of 60, so a normal success.
Nice.
50 out of 60. You scan each of these tables with a hard eye. And you do not recognize any of the people here as Andrew. You feel pretty certain, to a measurable degree, that he is not at any of the tables down there. And as your rum gets set down in front of you, Willie, the bartender says, are you here celebrating? And he sort of nods to the loud Irishmen who are sort of smashing drinks together at the end of the bar. Starting a chant.
Yeah. I'm celebrating, real excited. Love the holidays. And I'm visibly looking around, rather than really engaging this guy in conversation, I'm probably still looking around, scanning the tables, doing my own kind of spot hidden check. But I'm kind of trying to keep him there so that I can interrogate him maybe after I've had a chance to look around a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, give me a spot hidden up here because you're on a different level. And as you enter sort of the swinging room of the little girl's room, are you asking people, what do you...
Yeah, I have the picture in my hands and I go up to this wall of mirrors that's bedecked with these tungsten light bulbs.
Yeah.
There's yellow glow and the smoke in the room.
Oh,
and
there's a hum as you walk up.
I'm going
They're
up.
so terrible for the environment. They're just buzzing loud.
Oh, absolutely. And these women are younger and hotter than me, and they're dressed in fashionable clothes, and they're gossiping and stuff. And I just kind of walk up, and I'm like, "Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm looking for this man. Have you seen him anywhere?"
And they're sort of taken aback, and they're like, What are you talking about, sister? And then like one like ashes her cigarette and it like dabs the top of your shoe, you know. Yeah, give me like a, you know, a little persuade. They don't seem really keen on answering questions.
Sure. Simple question, girls.
I know.
Ooh, yeah, that's 20. That's a hard success.
Yeah, sort of the queen bee of all of it, you know. She's like wearing this white tuft. You know, she's sort of leaning casually against one of the mirrors, and she waves the other two hens away, and she kind of walks up and she looks at the picture, and she's kind of like,
He's gone missing. You wouldn't have seen him in here, have you?
and she sort of crooks her neck. I don't know, maybe. He looks like one of the guys that comes in here quite often, as I do.
I mean, you seem like you know the place. I've never been in here personally, but
And she like looks up and down and says, I can tell. And the other girls go, woo. No, I'm just kidding.
I throw down. No, I blush a little bit.
From the back.
I'm yeah. Hold my earrings.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. I was like, what is it that they take off? It's the earrings.
The earrings.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I swallow my pride and I'm like, well, his name is Andrew Nichols, and he's gone missing, you see. So I'm just hoping that if you have any information, if you'd seen him here, maybe you could tell me about when.
All right, she like picks up your like persistence and not biting at her sort of comment, and she sort of sighs, just, dear, if you're looking for information, don't ask any of us. Ask the dealers. They're the ones who see the most people. And besides, a big tip or a loser, and he looks like a loser, will definitely stick out in their memory. And she sort of departs. Meanwhile, Willie, what did you get for your spot hidden? Oh, you're muted.
My spot hidden was pretty bad. I got an 87, not a success for me. So assuming I don't see anything, I would kind of be resorting to talking to this bartender then. And all of a sudden, I'd kind of like, just as he's probably drifting away, I'd be like, actually, I was looking to be out celebrating with one friend in particular. He's supposed to be meeting me here, actually. I don't know if you might have seen him, Andrew Nichols. I'm waiting for him. He hasn't swung by, has he?
I don't know. What does he look like?
I'm not sure if we got a description of Andrew Nichols or not.
You have a photo. I feel like you would have seen the photo. Maybe she would have given you a few copies. We'll say maybe everyone has a copy, you know, like a different pose.
I kind of grabbed the photo, and then I realized pulling out a photo of this guy is not probably that. It's rather suspicious. So I kind of just described the guy in the photo a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to say, you know, being a journalist, you're like good with descriptions. You know, you get detailed, like right down to the moles, and he's like, yeah.
I'm kind of like I like lean over to take a sip of my drink mid-description, and I'm looking at the photo, and then I lean back
you're like
sandy blondish kind of hair. It's hard to tell, really.
Chestnut eyes.
Yeah, good. I'm not so good with colors right now, to be honest. I'm having trouble recalling them, but suffice to say, he's got this kind of a jaw.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Colors don't ask me right now, but definitely know the shape of his head.
That's good. And he's like, that guy was here. Yeah.
He was.
That's all I really know. And you know, he kind of does that thing. You know what he wants, and he needs something. You know.
Odd for him to leave early is what I say as I slide a significant, probably $5 bill, maybe even over to him. I don't know if that's too much, but
I'm out of here, copper. She's like, I am done with this. I am opening a restaurant. $5.
I've changed his life.
Starting new.
He takes it with wide eyes. He pockets it. I don't know if it's a lot for sure, but
I want to give him a substantial sum.
I mean, put it this way: I was watching Abbott and Costello this weekend with my son, and they paid for a dinner with music and live action. It was like a dancing thing for $3.
Okay, it was like a 3-course meal or whatever.
So
I feel like that's perfect then.
Yeah,
like
I
really want to grease this guy's wheels.
$68.50. That's right. Yeah. He pockets it and he's like, listen. He made a bad call against someone who got very angry, but as far as I know, they settled the matter privately. You know how these things go. And he sort of gives like a knowing look, like, you know, and he gestures to the door.
got somebody mad? Somebody got a little rattled?
Look, they I think your friend, he ain't so good of a card player because from what I remember seeing, there was a big tussle. He lost big to somebody and couldn't pay him back, so they settled the matter privately.
No worries. Wouldn't be the first time I got Andrew out of one of those old situations. Oh, Andy, let's go. All right, we got to get out of here. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I start making my way towards the back where he's kind of like indicating, trying to play it off like this is fine, but I'm also like, uh-oh, what are we about to walk into? And I try to signal the others as I'm moving in that direction.
Yeah. And Ricky, you sort of been at the balcony. You took a while for it to scan. There's a lot of people down there, and you see Willie sort of gesturing towards you.
Yeah, he'll go follow him.
And maybe you head down because he sort of gestured, to the back, like the manager's office, which is down sort of to the left of the stage, the opposite side. And maybe you reconvene with Iris as she exits the washroom.
Seems like our friend Andy is on the wrong side of a deal right now. The cards didn't play in his favor, and he's settling his score outside or in the back right now. And I point in the direction of the door.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's not in here anyway.
I wonder if the dealer who is at the table can tell us more about the person who the score needs settling with, or whether we should just go out. What do you guys think?
It's your call. You can go straight to the manager or straight to the back, or what do you guys want to do?
Is the dealer currently dealing? Or is he on
there's
like
like
break?
15 dealers. There's
that's gonna
15.
take a while.
The tables are filled.
Well, I want to speak to a manager.
Karen. I don't get a Karen vibe from Iris.
Yeah. No, I don't either. But someone on
called you
YouTube
Karen.
said, "I demand to speak with Cthulhu."
That's really good.
Which I like very
that's
much.
really
Yes.
good. I demand to speak with Cthulhu. I don't get that vibe. So perfect. Yeah, you guys head to the back room.
Yeah.
Yeah, these big double doors, and as you enter, you notice this sort of leads, to the back area. You actually walk through the kitchen, and as you walk through the kitchen, the hot music from outside sort of dies out, and the kitchen staff almost looks at you bizarre as you sort of walk with confidence, I kind of get the vibe that maybe Willie, is leading the way, head held high.
As high as it goes, which is probably shorter than the other two, but he's kind of like very much affecting that confidence in a quick stride to get them through.
Yeah, and I feel like you kind of walk into the back and you're sort of in this dark, a hallway behind the kitchen. There's a flickering light and you hear the click of shoes approaching behind you. And as you turn around, you see this sort of big, rough-looking guy who eyes you up and down. And without saying a word, he just points to you and sort of gestures you to follow him, and he turns heel and starts walking down the hall towards a door at the end.
How high up is the light bulb that's flickering?
Oh, it's within reach.
Yeah, Rick will just be like, that is absolutely ridiculous, and he'll just try to fiddle with it a bit, see if he can get it to
and it fixes it perfectly. You're like, just screw it in. I want to give you inspiration or advantage or whatever it's called. That's so fucking funny. Good. I love that.
Knew there was a reason we brought Willie along.
So funny.
Willie's like, hey, good stuff. He cannot reach quite high enough to fix it, so he's just like, yeah, hey, good. You. I like you.
Yeah. So you guys head to the end of this hallway, and as you do, there's sort of a small steel door, that he opens. It's like a push door. He kind of opens it up. And as he gestures for you to go inside, you see this dimly lit back room. The concrete floor beneath you sort of speaks to sweat and blood. The sort of scent sort of fills your nostrils as he, with a very strong hand, waves you in.
Well, nice to make your acquaintance. My name is Iris Sanderson. Hello.
I feel like as you're saying that as you enter, because he's like, you're trying, and then he stays outside and shuts the door.
Oh.
And as you're talking, you sort of turn to the door and you hear a voice respond.
Rude.
Nice to meet your acquaintance too, says the voice. And it's sort of this large man. He's got bristly gray hair on his arms. His sleeves are rolled up. And it's not just him in the room. There is another smaller man sitting in a chair next to him on the floor. But this man, who has bruised, bloodied knuckles, is rolling down his sleeves. And you can see his tie is undone. And he's actually getting dressed before you. He sort of puts his tie back on, and he's very almost treating you like you're not there. You know, this room lit by a single bulb. It's very ominous. You can't see the shadows. And he just says, "You've been asking around my club." And you immediately put together that this is Edwin. This is the owner of this bar. Edwin, to you and any Arkham socialite would know, is a very powerful mafioso, sort of this mob mentality. He runs a lot of the booze in this town, and he knows everything. And if you're in this back room for other reasons, it's a very bad place to be. As you sort of scuff your shoe, Willie, and see the streak of blood that you can drag across the floor is still fresh for people who may not have had payment for his club. And as he gets dressed, he sort of, without looking, says, "Is there something I can help you with?"
I mean, Iris is way out of her depth. I think she's just going to shut her mouth and wait.
Willie also kind of feels a little out of his depth and would be kind of taken aback looking at the others kind of nervously to see if he should do the talking. If so, it looks like
Ricky doesn't know any better, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, first of all, I don't know who you got maintaining this place. Your light bulb's a shambles, your floors are sticky. I mean, I'm just saying the quality of the maintenance here was pretty low. We're just here looking for a friend of ours, that's all. By the way, that is a very fancy tie. If I wore ties, I would wear one like that if I could afford, you know what I'm saying?"
Yeah, give me a roll. A charm. Give me a charm roll.
yes.
Because this is knife edge, whether he's charmed by this or not.
Can I try fast talk? Because I have no charm whatsoever.
Sure.
Or persuade. But I'll do charm if you want. It's 15.
No, fast talk works. Yeah, I don't know if it's persuade. You're not trying to get anything from him.
Oh, that's a fail. 52.
Yeah. So there's like a calmness in the air for a moment. He still hasn't turned. He's just tightening his tie, and with just the slightest, he nods to the guy in the chair, who stands up, walks across to you, and punches you in the stomach.
Oh.
Not hard enough to do any damage, but just you keel over and land on your knees.
Oh!
Shit, you the janitor or something?
And the guy turns
Solid
tail,
right hook.
heads back to the chair, and sits back down without breaking a sweat. And then he tightens the tie, and he says, "I don't like your attitude." And he turns towards Willie and then Iris, for the first time locking eyes, and you see he has a cold, steely stare, almost blue eyes, but they're bright. And he looks between the two of you. "I'm going to ask you again. Is there something I can help you with?"
Listen, Edwin, it seems like you're not somebody who likes to have your time wasted. I kind of take a step back and look over just to make sure you don't have something you want to say here.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that we were not welcome here. I'm sorry. We run an investigative agency, and we're looking for a man on behalf of his wife, who I believe has a right to know where her husband has ended up. He's been missing, you see. She pulls the picture of him out of her purse, and she says, "It's come to our attention that he was maybe sent out of your bar as a result of a debt owing, perhaps. Simple inquiry. The police are not going to be involved. This is a private matter, and it should stay so."
He sits down heavily on the table. It sort of creaks slightly with his weight, and he says, "You have to understand, people come into my establishment asking questions. This is something that I don't normally allow for a number of reasons." And he sort of gestures down at Ricky, who's just now getting back up.
I'm all right.
"But since this problem doesn't concern me, the guy," and he nods to the photo, he lost big, but not to me, not to the house. He and the gentleman he lost to got in a tiff, but suddenly they started making nice. Seemed like your friend offered his services to the man he lost to. I don't know his name, but I do know that he works at Miskatonic University. I think he taught biology. And he stands up. And with him standing up, almost without signal, the gentleman who is outside the door opens it, and light creaks in again. And he says, "Now, don't ever fucking come here again. Do we understand?"
Oh, yes, of course. I wouldn't dream of it, really. A nice place, though. Lovely. But come along. And she picks up Ricky by the elbow, sort of drags him out.
Trying to help with the other side. I think we have
feel
everything we need here, frankly. I think this was a very successful meeting ultimately in the end.
Appreciate
Yeah, Ricky is quietly seething, and as we get down the hall far enough away, he'll point at the light bulb and go, "You're welcome!"
You did a damn good job on that light bulb.
You
I
really
like to think
did.
so.
Ricky, excellently done.
I'm gonna have to go change my briefs. I think I peed a small bit in my pants when he punched me in the gut right there. I wasn't flexing or nothing.
Honestly,
Oh no,
honestly,
that's blood. Never mind.
Ah, shit.
honestly, you were right. His lights were a piece of shit, so I'm on your side the whole time. Now listen,
And
I
you should
know
have seen the ladies' room.
I wasn't gonna stand.
Absolute
I wasn't gonna
shambles.
step in and get involved, but I was mentally supporting you the entire time. I just want you to know that.
I do appreciate that. I really do.
I want to give inspiration to Tim for that amazing line, and I
I feel like that's how Willie supports
so
people
good.
a lot. He's
I was
he's a
mentally
tough
supporting
guy.
you.
He's
So
like
good.
one of the guys, but he
Yeah.
will be mentally supporting you, not physically.
Ricky
That's the
appreciates
best way he can do it.
And I feel like this conversation's happening while you guys are like driving
Oh, yeah.
over to Miskatonic. You know, like it's now sort of let's say it's like mid-afternoon.
Oh,
from
okay.
your experience, classes are in session. We're not going to wait a whole day. And the biology wing of Miskatonic is a well-known area. It just lies off the university library. And throughout your travels, each of you has stumbled in the university for one reason or another. And I think as you come to the biology wing, the class is more or less just letting out. People are sort of exiting, filing out. There's a few curious eyes that catch you. Maybe a set of eyes that linger a little too long on you as they exit. A young girl, blonde looking, sort of looks you up and down with sort of a nervous expression before turning sharply around the corner. And you enter into the biology wing, this lecture hall, as there's a woman, just sort of wiping down the chalkboard. Everyone else continues to file out.
And so she's the only one in there?
Yeah, right now. Again, everyone else is sort of filing out.
I think Iris is like kind of coming into her own on this investigation. Like she's very rarely been out with the guys before, and the way that things went in the bar, she's emboldened by, speaking out.
Oh yeah. Also, she drank like 10 shots.
Well, on the way out, she like grabbed a martini that was not attended.
Amazing. Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Pardon us. Are you the biology teacher? Biology?
I just remembered something. Sorry. Did you grab the chicken out of the oven?
Yeah, I turned it off.
Okay, never mind.
Always good to check.
Burnt
Does
chicken.
deserve
No
a
joke.
pause in
But
the
I
game.
literally, because right before she came over boxing and she's working tonight, she wanted some chicken, so I threw in some chicken, and I just had this oh shit moment where I was like, oh my god, has it been an hour in the oven?
Well, having
Never mind.
charcoal
It
for
was
dinner,
not.
honey.
It was not well cooked, so I turned off the oven and I left it in. So
Good
hopefully,
thinking. Okay.
Garden
Back
against
into
flood,
role
you're
play.
against fire. Love.
Yeah. Inspiration for Joe for turning up.
It's going to be a juicy bird when you take it out of the oven.
Sorry, continue.
Good
Iris.
bird.
What reminded you of that? Biology?
I think I just had a moment to think.
Okay.
It's just like,
Feel that.
She's
Oh.
wiping down the chalkboard, chalk and chicken.
Peaceful.
Chalk.
chicken the China, the chalk chicken.
Wiping, wings, chicken.
Now I just want chicken. All right, Iris.
Iris walks in. She says, "Sorry to bother you. Are you the biology teacher here?"
And the woman at the front sort of turns around. sees each of you as the last of her students are filing out. She sort of nods. Yes, yeah, I am. Nice to meet you. I'm Professor Norton. Can I help you?
I'm sorry. We were told that there was a male professor here working at the in the biology department. Do you have a colleague?
Oh, no. It might be that you're looking for Professor Stevenson.
Could be. Is he a
Yes.
biologist?
Well, yes, he is. Professor Stevenson was let go the week before last, the 4th. And I was hired on to start the 6th. I've only been here a short while.
Oh, I mean no disrespect, of course, and I'm sure you're doing a stand-up job. Do you know where we might find Professor Stevenson? We are looking for a friend of his.
I can't say as I knew him very well. I never met him. I'd heard tales, of course, but I don't want to spread misinformation, she says sort of nervously.
Do you know anything about him? What kind of tales?
Well, and you can tell she's sort of hesitant.
It's really no business of ours personally, but it's part of an investigation. We're actually here on behalf of a missing person, a case.
And she's like, no, I'm just kidding. Another $5 would do something.
Yeah, gotta pay off all these
Just give her
teachers.
No,
Five.
Yeah, she's kind of a little bit hesitant.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe give a roll or something,
I'll
or maybe
give a roll.
And Willie and Ricky, while Iris is talking, what are the two of you doing?
You can see Willie's thinking about getting involved, but the more he watches Iris, the more he's like, I shouldn't be involved in this guy. You're doing great, and I can only make this worse with like the commentary he was thinking in his head. Like, where's this male professor? We're looking for a male teacher.
What are you
here.
doing?
Who are you, lady? And he's
Start
just like,
pushing
oh,
shit
Iris is handling this top notch right
Oh,
now.
I love it. That's
He's just
so
kind of
good.
looking around the room, and he's been stuffing his hands in his pockets and kicking his shoes around a little bit. It's a
Willie
big learning
is mentally
establishment.
supporting you, Iris.
He's so mentally supportive.
I didn't go to a fancy school like this. These places make me nervous.
I got a regular success.
Yeah, you can tell there's a bit of hesitancy. She sort of looks eyes with you and Ricky and Willie, and Willie's kicking his shoe, and she kind of is like, well, I heard that he was very egotistical. He treated everyone as a lesser. His students liked him, but he had a fairly wealthy family. He never really worked that hard on anything to get ahead. From what I know, he was apparently very, very bright, but he was quite rude to his coworkers. But this is only what I've heard around the water cooler.
I love gossip as Iris, and
As
this
Iris, I couldn't
is
tell.
making Iris's gossip brain start chugging along, working overtime, and she's like, "You don't say."
Well, yes.
A man with an ego like that sometimes will let it get the better of him, no matter how smart he is. I've seen it happen a million times, not in settings like this, mind you, but of course, men sometimes overreach, I find.
Yes, I can tell. And she says, and she looks vaguely in the direction of Ricky and Willie. And I feel like there's just a smash cut. What are the two of you doing?
I am turning to him. I'm going to go outside for a smoke real quick. And they just start to turn and walk out.
And Iris is like,
Ricky's turning a light bulb again.
Nah.
it's like
Yeah, Ricky's
he
just
like
I do
knocks
offer you
into a
cigarette as
skeleton
I'm
and
walking
then
out.
all of the bones fall or something.
That's fair.
Yeah, before Willie goes out, I'd be like, you smell that? That's antiseptic Flanagan's number 55. They won't even sell that to the police department. This place has got to be clean. I know the guy who works it. This is a top-notch job. You going for a smoke? I'll come with you.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's go.
That's good.
I'm like listening, like, really? It does smell clean. I didn't notice that.
I
Listen
do
to you talk
love
about
the image though.
antiseptics.
It got lost, but I love that where like he's playing with the skeleton and like turns it and just shatters apart. You're just like,
This is
dropped
broken.
it.
I don't know what kind of operation you run in here, but this is broken. This is not an accurate representation of the human body.
Very Chevy Chase, to be like, just smash it. Okay, yeah, the two of you head out, and I feel like as you walk into the theater, you notice that same person who sort of stared at you oddly when you arrived. She's actually standing just at the end of the hall.
She's a student, right?
Yeah, she's a student, and she sort of locks eyes with you. Why don't you give me a psychology roll, Willie?
65 is not gonna do it. I have a 40. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't quite tell. She just sort of stares at you for a moment, and then sort of begins to walk away. Maybe.
I nudge Ricky, the classic, like, hey, and like point her out as she's walking away.
Yeah.
Blondie.
I was a bit,
Ricky's
I
like,
was a bit
yeah,
suspicious.
she's cute. All right, let's go have a cigarette.
I do then like do a double
Just
take
in
and
a
go,
real
no, I
creepy
mean
way, like
she was
no,
watching.
You think she
us,
likes
I
me?
think. No, I mean, yeah, okay, she was what I'm trying to say, she was watching you, and yeah, she may like you. That's irrespective.
She seemed to be staring at the two of us like we was doing something wrong. So and then she took off pretty fast.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. What do you think? Do you think we should tailor? I don't know if that's really a good idea here. We're strangers on campus.
Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk on campus. Might be the same direction as her. You know that ain't against the rules.
We'll just go for a walk. We're just walking here.
That's all we're doing.
As we walk, we're just repeating. We're just walking. Yeah. We're just walking here. That's all we're doing.
I might like pop their head in the door to Iris and be like, "Hey,
Yeah. She just waves you off.
I feel like there's like a double door, you know, like you guys exit the left, and then as you're walking by, and like before you maybe get to the other one, that she sees you go through the other, you know, in the direction. And I mean, as you're sort of follow her, you're doing the just Abbott and Costello routine, you're like, cool. And and you know, you talk to Lillian for a few moments. You like get gossiping. She's like
I'm like leaning on the
she's
desk.
really into it. She's like, well, look, you know, I've also heard that he lived with his mother. So I mean, I don't judge, you know, but men in this day and age, you know, a house is only $50. My boyfriend made a tip of $5 last night at the bar.
10% of the way there. I love it. What if
So can I find out? Does he have? He lived with his mother. He doesn't have a partner.
Yes.
Okay.
That's about all you find out.
Great.
But we'll give the boys a head start on the next scene because I think this is cute.
I want to hear all about
the
it.
murmuring of "we're walking here" sort of turns the corner as this young girl sort of is you know at the corner when you turn, like she's waiting for you.
Being
she's
stalked
sort of
by
startled
two
a
men.
little bit. She's like, hi.
hello."
Hello.
Hello.
So what's the hallway look like? Like how populated is it?
It's empty right now.
Good.
Yeah, it's like that part in Scream, despite it being the busiest high school, that for some reason this entire hallway is empty while they get murdered. You know, it's like that time.
It's kind of hard to know how to initiate what we would like to ask her out of absolutely nowhere. Like, what the fuck was you looking at us for?
I feel like from like 10 feet away, Willie shouts like, "So you a student here?" And like doesn't approach any closer, but is trying to have like a casual conversation. And they just come around this corner. "You a student
So
here?"
good. Yeah.
And like since it's the 1920s, Rick could be like, "Yeah, you student here?"
It's like doubling down. And she's like, yes, I am. She like sort of says it, trying not to draw attention. Yes, I am.
We look around and like maybe like getting a bit closer to like.
I follow.
Yeah, and you can tell now up close she's scared. She's kind of nervous, and she looks around, and you can tell there's a debate going on in her mind whether or not she wants to talk to you at all, for obvious reasons. We're walking here, you know.
Are you okay? Everything all right here?
Yeah. You were asking Lillian about Professor Stevenson?
Is there a classroom nearby that's like an empty room?
You can tell this is like the next class, right? Like everything's filling up again. Like everything's sort of...
okay.
Yeah.
What about like a custodial closet?
No offense, but I don't want to go into a closet with you two men. It's very weird, and I've never met you.
Don't worry about it. I wouldn't go in there with me.
No, but you know, there's a cafe across the street, the Stray Bullet. You know, it's like a university hang spot.
Yeah, we would just be like, "Hey, you want some coffee? We'll buy a cup of coffee. Just sit down, relax, have a chat."
And she's like, "Yeah, that'd be okay." And she sort of nervously is like, "I'll meet you there in 2 minutes," and she like goes her own way, you know.
All right, she definitely seemed to know something, and
Yeah.
she seemed like she wanted to talk to us. That was a little too easy to strike up a conversation like that. I was super awkward right there. I'm fully
Yeah, man.
acknowledging.
Did we yell at her? Was she a student here? Did we actually do that?
We did that. To be fair, it was
Oh,
the
man.
safer of many options in the scheme of things, but it was extremely weird, and she still seemed like she wanted to
Yeah.
share something about this
Yeah,
professor.
if I saw the two of us, I mean, I got no hair, you got less, you know, I would, yeah.
We shouldn't
two
be
of you
here.
high
It's
five.
extremely clear, but
Yeah.
we did it.
Still don't know why we're single. I think we're Charlie.
Hey, after this investigation, boys' night? Out?
we're
Go
gonna
back to Edwin's?
Go tear across the town.
I can't wait to go to the coffee house and get a standard black coffee because I'm sure that's all that's available nowadays. For 20 cents.
It's so funny. You sound so much fucking like Bill Burr. You're
Who do you think
New
I'm
York.
basing this character on?
Yeah, it's
No,
great.
we can't both.
You're both basing it on Bill Burr?
Simultaneously.
Love it.
I feel bad.
No.
That's why we get on so
You're
well.
killing it. You're both killing it.
Kind of perfect. Yeah.
Two Bill Burrs. I love it. Okay.
I'm
so
a younger Bill Burr. That's all.
One's
yeah.
Bill Burr, one's Bill Burr Baggins. Anyway, you meet back up
There
with
we go.
Iris, and I'm feeling like you kind of catch her up, and you guys head across the street, and you enter the Stray Bullet, which is, by the way, my favorite cafe name I've ever come up with.
Stray bullet.
What?
I came up with that name.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. You turned to me when you were writing this, and you were like, "Joe,
Oh,
what's a
maybe you're
name for a
right.
cafe?"
Sorry, hold on. Let me just say that again. My favorite I've ever come up with. My favorite. Just kidding. Maybe you're right. Yeah, I think
You
you did.
dirty
You're right.
thief.
It's like,
Sorry.
you want some fucking chicken later? Who came up with it?
yeah. Listen. I will take that chicken out. No, you're right. I totally forgot. My favorite title that Joe has ever come up with. Let me just change it. Anyway, so you walk into the Wailing Cat. It's filled in the afternoon. It's great. Yeah, it's kind of quiet though. You know, it's between shifts at the university. People are sort of moving in and out of classrooms. So, and you see the timid girl sort of wave you, and you head over to the booth, and she gestures for you to sit down. She sort of cradles a cup of coffee and quietly introduces herself, and she says, "Hi."
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, honey.
And she says, I'm just desperately trying to find my name.
Can I have an egg salad sandwich, please?
Of course, darling. What else would you two like?
Just a simple ham and cheese?
I'm gonna have a bacon, egg, and cheese. Actually, I'm gonna go for
Bacon,
breakfast.
cheese.
right
Bacon,
now.
egg, and
Yeah.
cheese. All right. Coming up.
It's early. It's still early.
Is the egg salad good here, honey? Do you know? Have you
no.
had the egg salad?
My name is Lynn Wallace. Please stop ordering food for me. No, and she says, she introduces herself as Lynn Wallace. And, immediately, as if it's been weighing on her, she says, look, I heard you asking for Professor Stevenson, and, something's happened. My boyfriend and I, Norman, we were camping last weekend just northwest of the city, in the Avid Woods, and we came across something strange in the ground. It looked like a plant, smallish, dark, purple sacks. We didn't touch it, but we both knew from how excited Professor Stevenson gets in his biology class that he would get a kick out of it. So we came back to the city, and we convinced him to come with us, and we showed it to him, and he went wild with discovery. He told us not to say anything to anyone, to anyone, and he rented some gear and equipment for us to camp out there, and Norman and I, we thought, why not? It could be fun, a little bit of extracurricular, and Professor Stevenson's always been so nice, and the first 2 days were fine, ish, but on the third day, the last Sunday, he was acting real strange. He said he wanted to test. He said he wanted to test something alive on it, to see if it would eat it. Norman and I got in a huge fight over it, and I left, and I haven't seen Norman since. He lives on campus. I went to his dorm. His dorm mate said he never came back.
I'm sorry, honey. When he said that he was gonna test something to see if it would eat it, do you mean the thing that's alive?
Shh, yes. He wanted to bring it an animal like a cat or something.
A cat don't eat flowers, honey.
No, not for the cat. The flower. It's not a flower. It's tough to describe, and I don't want to sound mad. It's alive. It's its own thing. It grows and I swear there were some times I know it's too crazy. Anyway, that's all I know about Professor Stevenson and Norman. And she says with a bit of, pain in her voice.
Do you know anything about his gambling tendencies?
Who?
Gambling. Do you know that he plays cards?
Oh, Professor Stevenson. Every once in a while, he pulled out a deck while we were camping, but nothing religiously.
He didn't bring a buddy with him at all? It was just him every time?
No, it was just him every time, and he's very, very smart. I always thought he cheated at cards, frankly, but he. Why do you ask?
Just curious. So tell me, hon, would you be able to take us out to the campsite that you shared?
I don't know if I could go back there. You can tell she's hesitant. I don't know if you want to convince her, persuade, gunpoint.
Is this the kind of place where we would be able to get directions to? Is it like a public campsite?
I could draw you a map if you'd like.
That would do just fine, hon, I'm sure.
Yeah, and she pulls out her little notebook and starts scribbling down. Do you have any other questions for her in the mean?
This plant, you say it eats though. What, like one of those Venus flytraps? And I just keep making this pantomime with my hands, just constantly. Like I'm clearly like hoping
every
the
little
answer is yes. Yeah. Like I'm fascinated by giant Venus flytraps.
And every little slap, she twitches a little bit.
I read an article in National Geographic on a carnivorous plant.
Oh, I've heard of it. I think I may have read that article.
Yes.
Oh, is that what you were doing this? Because it's got teeth?
Yeah. Like these are the teeth.
No, it doesn't have teeth. No.
What are these then? What are the things? I've seen it has a mouth. Venus flytrap. It completely does. Trust me.
You know what? I have the article back at the office. When we go back, I'll show you. It does not have teeth.
I feel like in It's Always Sunny fashion, the three of you turn back to her and she's gone, and just the map is behind. She's slipped out mid-argument. You're like, stop. Okay, so where's? Oh, she's gone. And the map
with all this flapping, with all of this.
Well, you don't like the teeth?
There's no such thing as a plant with teeth. Okay, that doesn't exist. I don't know what article you read. It's not true. Did you read it? Was it in the funnies?
I don't know. It might have been, but
was it a Marmaduke?
I think I said it was a Marmaduke. Okay, but I think there's facts sometimes in Marmaduke.
These fucking Marmadukes
it's based
taking
in
over.
Reality.
I just had a serious thought, gentlemen. Our friend Andrew Nichols went missing after a card game with this Professor Stevenson. And we know that Professor Stevenson, after having had this bad bet or whatever, told Andrew that he could help him with something. I wonder if it's related to this camping trip. Do you think?
I'd say it's pretty likely.
Yeah, and I think she sort of slides over this map and she's like, "Look, I don't want to go, but it wasn't exactly a plant. It was alive though, and I just."
When you saw it last, how big had it gotten?
Oh, maybe 4 feet, 5. Its roots were the real thing. They grew out so wide from where it was. The professor was worried about the outside elements damaging it, so we buried it a little bit, kept a tarp over it to make sure it was safe from the elements. But
So it's like a shrub.
sure, yes, if that helps you understand. But it was much more dense than a shrub. I would say closer to a strange mushroom, maybe. And she hands you this map, which is sort of hand-drawn. I've dropped it in the Discord. You can see. It's pretty rudimentary. But, sorry, I'll throw that back on there. But you can kind of sort of see there's a tent, a mound, some equipment she sort of gestured, and kind of gives you the rough idea. It's very basic. And, with that, she sort of nods and stands up, and, her hand's still shaking a little bit, and says, if you find Norman, please just tell him to give me a call, but I'm worried about him. And she turns and she leaves.
Thank you for that information.
What? She says. Sorry, did you say something? She walks back.
It's all right, dear. Thank you.
Oh, okay, well, goodbye. And she turns and leaves again.
Cool.
What? She says at the door, like the door's open.
I eat my egg sandwich.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is a damn good ham and cheese.
What? She says at the window. Doom, 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 doom. What?
Did you want to try?
Are you saying something?
Disengage.
She must be hungry.
Disengage.
We're still aggro the NPC. We're still kiting them socially.
Just the door. Just pretend you're sleeping. Just pretend you're sleeping.
Don't look at her. Don't look at her. Don't look at her.
Yeah,
Make your mouth move like you're talking.
That's great.
What a nice girl.
That was good information.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something here, Iris. I'm worried about Andrew. If this guy thought he was feeding something to feeding living things to this plant. I don't know what to expect at this point.
If it's 4 or 5 feet, I mean, you could eat him. You could eat a man if you're that big. This plant eats shit.
And as you're sitting there, sort of talking, kind of loudly, someone walks up and she sort of looks down and she says, "Do you mind keeping it a little bit down, please?" And this nun is standing there and she's like, I appreciate that you're trying to help, but my friends over there are also trying our own investigation. And she gestures over, and you see at the nun's table is like an older sort of man and a young
Don't make
woman.
physical contact with them. We will destroy each other if we touch. We cannot touch.
And Martha locks eyes with you,
No,
and her nose
I don't
starts
look.
bleeding.
I don't look. I don't return her gaze.
No, she's just like,
We're sorry,
"Anyway,
sister."
Good, it's all right. Have a wonderful good luck." And she says,
Sorry,
she's just
sister.
like she's
Sorry,
actually just like
sister.
eating with other people. But there's a little bit of Martha.
Ricky
She
will
might
hear
follow
the
you.
accent and he'll try to say Gnairium Boherlat to her and he'll be like, Gnairium Boherlat! It's Irish. It's Gaelic. My family.
Can I remember that who you as well?
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Petty!
right,
With
yeah.
2 D's.
That's right. And she
not
like
2
lifts
T's.
a little bit, and you see she's wearing green underwear.
Oh, yeah. She's got a
got a
shamrock
tattoo
tattooed
down
on her
her
ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the sleeves.
Fucking
Anyway, so yeah, you're
punk.
sitting in
Gaelic
this.
knots all down the arm.
Oh yeah, you're sitting in the cafe.
I was gonna say something else before we met Martha. Shit. About.
Martha, my dear.
It'll come back to me.
We've got the map now. We
Camping, big plant,
curious about this plant.
cards.
Her phone number is 3. You can always call her there.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's go there, right?
Yes, we should
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to. Sorry, there
It's a
was,
ghost.
there's a ghost.
Get
in
out
my
of
face,
ghost! Get your dick out of my face! Slap!
Piss off, ghost.
Yes.
What was that? I know the kid. Who was that?
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Got that ghost for you.
I was thinking. Have you seen Hunt for the Wilder People?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my god, it's so good. That kid from Deadpool 2 is in it. The New Zealand kid.
yeah.
He's so funny. Anyway, so yeah, you pile up into the jalopy and head up north to Arkham just as sun is setting. You follow the map to the best of your ability, heading up a dirt road, and as you find the general area as it sort of grows closer, the trees become tight knit on either side of the road to the point where eventually the canopy stretches out above you. The woods come alive around you. You hear the crickets of the night and the cold March air sort of biting at you as you bring the car sort of bumping along this road to the point where you don't think you can go anymore in the car. You kill the engine and step out. The crunch of frost on the moss beneath your feet sort of sends a shiver up your spine, as does the moon, which seems to cut through that canopy. And I assume you sort of grab torches from the boot and
Ricky
click them on.
his janitor's flashlight.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is like it's
one of those big
up.
ones.
It's real big. It doesn't necessarily work very well, but he's like, these are the best you can get. They're the best. It's the best make, the best brand.
It's like a flip switch on the top, one of those ones that you have to toggle back and forth.
Oh, when I get the flashlight, boom, and light just
firing light everywhere.
That's awesome.
I love that. I would totally love that.
Willie will have his flashlight, but he cannot easily carry it and will not have one on and active because he needs both hands for the camera that he is bringing. The huge camera that he is going to try to set up to take flash bulb photos. I forget how it exactly works, but we'll do, if I can do flash bulbs, just so I can kind of that's my best way to light the way at the moment. If I happen to be on my own, is to set off a giant flash.
Awesome.
I love that.
It's technically easier than me reaching for my flashlight at this point. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So the three of you begin heading down the rudimentary path that sort of is laid out in the piece of paper that was given to you. And as you do, you move deeper into the woods. The crickets begin to die. There's a cold rustling in the trees as you move forward, step by step, the moss crushing beneath your feet. And then you see it, the small clearing. The fall leaves, long since fallen and frozen, now beginning to defrost again with the warm days, seem to cover the ground around here. Just beyond where your light can touch, you see a tent, though it's fallen in the last heavy rainfall. And before you, between you and the tent, a mound. The mound stands maybe 4 feet tall and stretches maybe 10, 13 feet wide. To the left, slightly, you see a hole large enough for someone to crawl in. Silently, you look around, studying the spaces between the trees, looking into the darkness, hoping that nothing looks back. What do you do?
When you say hole, is it just a vertical drop, or is it like a gradual? You could walk down into it.
Crawl.
Man.
It's only about 4 feet tall, so you need to be on your hands and knees. It's sort of like a crawl space, and it's sort of almost like an anthill, a massive anthill. It sort of winds into this pile.
And you said there's a tent on the other side of the hill?
Which has fallen, yes.
Oh, it's just it's clear.
Yeah, it looks
there's
like
no one in it.
It looks like this campsite is abandoned. Willie, what do you do first? You're muted. You get too
Thank you so much. I feel like when we see the mound and the ominous hole in it, you see Willie's hand shakily rise, and he's like, so it's really not a Venus flytrap, huh? At all? Not really. Okay.
Yeah, none of this.
None of this. None of. All right. A little disappointing, frankly. Hey, Andrew. Andrew.
Andy.
Your voice echoes out into the night, and for a moment, you almost realize how loud you've called. It sort of just billows out, and then you swear that you could hear something moving. In fact, why don't you give me a listen roll?
Yes.
I'm gonna do it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if everybody's nearby.
Can't even stop.
Especially because I failed.
Also fail.
Ooh, I got a this hard and wonderful success, the middle one.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's hard. Yeah.
Hard success.
And as you strain your ears against the wind and the silence of the forest, you hear it again, Ricky. You hear the very faint sounds of footfalls crunching on the dead leaves. It seems to come from somewhere off to the right in the woods. You sort of take a moment, hold your breath, hoping that maybe you've misunderstood exactly what you hear before alerting the others. And there, rising from the darkness, from the distance, you see a figure begin to approach. At first, you're convinced that it's a trick of the mind, a trick of the light, because there's just no way whatever you see before you can exist. It's a husk of a man. The dry, drooping skin hangs from the body, almost devoid of life. It has the hollow, black, tunneled eyes of an empty shell of a being, and it limbers forward, its skin hanging from its bones as it lets out a long, wailing moan. The clothes that it must have been wearing at one point or another are now falling off of it in rotting pieces. It begins to move towards the three of you, stepping on the wet ground with crunching leaves beneath it. Its skin hangs almost lower than its teeth, so you only see the skin beneath, its jaw, and you don't get to see the opening of its mouth, making this echoey reverberation as it moans out and continues towards you. What do you do?
I feel like Ricky will have turned toward it and had the flashlight directly on it.
Yeah.
And we'll just be like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
And won't know what to do.
Yeah, you're frozen with fear? Well, everyone make a sanity roll, first and foremost.
Oh, yeah, I should say so.
Absolutely.
If I get the 0-0 on the D100, is that a 0?
Oh, yes.
The worst.
That's the worst one.
But
Oh, wait,
only
0?
if you get all zeros, then it becomes 100. But if you
Yeah.
get 0-0 and then
A 7.
that's just a 7, then that's great.
Oh, that's
Cool,
the
cool,
best
cool.
you can do.
I thought you got all zeros.
Yeah,
Oh, so all zeros is a 100, which is just like, you lose.
that's the worst, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
7.
did bad and Harlan makes fun of
So
you.
I don't make fun. Everyone who succeeds, take 1d6. Everyone who fails, take 1d10.
Okay, I succeeded.
3
My
damage.
D6.
I'm going to take 3 points.
Not bad.
3 buddies.
Ease.
Oh, for fuck. 6!
No. Take the lower, but you took the max. Yeah. So as you're standing there sort of frozen with fear, this creature lumbers towards you. And in that moment, you can sense that it yearns to make you pay. What do you do first, Iris?
Iris fumbles in her handbag.
Yeah.
She's got a revolver.
Ooh.
It's pearl handled.
Yes.
And it's a little guy, but she raises it out of her purse. She's never fired it before.
Yes.
But she knows that there's a bullet in the chamber, and she holds it out and she says, "You stay back. You stay back. I'm gonna shoot." And then she looks over to Willie, and she looks over to Ricky. I'm gonna shoot.
I don't think it's listening to you. I think you should do it.
Yeah, I very much think you should shoot that thing.
I'm gonna try to shoot it.
Yeah, give me a firearm.
Love it.
Ah!
What'd you get?
Critical success. 0-0.
Oh,
2.
yeah.
I rolled a 2.
That's amazing. Yeah, give me your damage.
Okay. Oh, so I rolled a 1. Do I get to add anything to that?
Yeah, your damage bonus. Oh, firearms.
What's DB?
Damage bonus, yeah.
Just says my damage bonus is none in combat.
None?
Sometimes you can have a plus zero with your...
well.
Yeah, same.
Well, I feel like firearms should be more. So we're going to say it's like +4.
Great.
Plus
50?
5. Plus 50. I mean, it doesn't matter because you nail this thing in the head, and with a wet, it smashes its brain open all over the back wall of this tree. You just see it sort of... The creature just falls to its knees and slowly begins to try to rise again as the hole in its head sort of just, you can see almost clearly through it. Willie, what do you do?
Willie is panicking. He is definitely still scared, even though he passed his sanity check. And he had the camera in hand. I imagine him backing up, seeing Iris unload the gun into this thing's head, I think, and seeing it keep moving has actually rattled him more. And I would love to roll to see if he can, in his delirious panic, take a photo of the scene in front of him. Possibly.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's more like to light things up and out of like a vague sense of like, I need to do something here, but not realizing how unhelpful this really is in this.
Yeah, no, you do it. You take a, do you do a photography check? Do you have a photography?
I think I did. Oh, I thought I had a photography skill. Oh, yes. Yeah, I have a 55 in photography. It did not make a difference. Just had to check. It was a 74, unfortunately, that I got.
Yeah, you take a photo, the flash goes off, and like you maybe keep doing it. And it's like lighting up these like, you know, almost like a what do you call it?
Strobe.
Thank you, a strobe as this creature's standing back up moaning. As it's like moving towards you. Ricky, as Willie is flashing these bulbs, what do you do?
I mean, Ricky can stand up for himself in a fight, but he doesn't have a gun. He's like a fisticuffs kind of dude.
Yeah.
Get him, Ricky.
I'm gonna have a look for a stick. Just something on the ground. So I'll do a spot hidden maybe, because he's panicking as well, because this should not be allowed to happen.
Yes.
Oh no, I fail. 88.
It doesn't matter. There's like a log sitting. Yeah, there's like a thin log. You reach down, you grab it as this creature comes up. Give me an attack roll with it.
Yeah. So it's a 1d3. So shall I just roll a d6 and
So you still have to roll to hit. So it's going to be like a
do.
fighting roll. Yeah. An unarmed strike or an armed strike.
Oh, I have brawl.
Yeah, brawl. That's it.
I actually have brawl too.
I failed. 75.
Oh no. Yeah, you go to like swing at it and you miss as it sort of lumbers forward. It's actually like kind of stumbling over itself. And as it sort of falls down by your feet, you know, you have this moment of like fear strike you as it's like almost clawing at your feet from where it's standing. And from its low vantage point, it tries to swipe at your legs. With a 94. I don't think that's gonna succeed, Gary.
Every time I hear big numbers, I think of it with D&D brain.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
the opposite.
oh my god.
No,
How
it's
do you
like
roll
oh my
94?
Honestly, yeah.
His to hit
And
bonus is crazy.
Iris, this thing is like kneeling down almost in front of you. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I drop the gun, lower it. I don't drop it, because Ricky's too close. I don't trust my own aim.
Yes.
And I
Put it right up
rush.
to its temple.
I mean, yeah, I could.
should.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
rush over there.
Do
I
it.
get close, and I put it like 6 inches away from the thing's face, and I say, "Die, die, zombie!"
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Cool. Go for it.
Nope, that's not gonna do it.
Oh,
Maybe
what did you get?
the bullet jams or something. 75.
Now give me with advantage because you're like up to its head, right?
That's another 75.
Yeah. Somehow you miss. Like no. You just like point blank. You miss.
The
it.
bullet jams. I've never.
Oh
fired
yeah, you're
this
right.
gun.
Yeah. It jams. You're right. 100%. You're like, oh, and you like quickly, and it looks up at you, and for the first time, you sort of have a direct look at this thing, and it sort of just locks eyes with you, Iris. And as you see into its emptiness, you get the impression that this is Norman. This was her boyfriend. This is sort of a young face that's been drained of life. its skin, almost like bark, seems to crack with the drooping of it. It's been drained of life, and you can tell that it's like on its last legs. As Willie, you are standing there, flashing your bulb. What do you do?
Kind of recomposing himself a little bit, realizing that the photos are, not only is he not getting good photos, this is accomplishing nothing. He saw Ricky swinging the stick, goes right, kind of recognizing that was an instinct he had kind of thought of as well, but he's going to grab a smaller stick.
Mental support.
His is more like a spear kind of
Oh,
move,
nice.
I'm imagining. So whereas you got the big stick and are really wailing on him bat style, I kind of
Yes.
grab a sharp, like a stick, if I can find one, a kind of thin one. I'm going to try to go in through the eye socket almost.
Yeah, you grab one and you go to stick it in its eye. Give me a roll.
The only problem is I'm going to give myself disadvantage because I am trying to keep the camera, this extremely bulky camera around my neck, from getting damaged out of instinct. I will die to defend this camera. And I got a 55. That is not going to be a hit. Nope.
Can you luck it? How far away is it?
I specifically chose this guy because there was another journalist who had brawl, and I'm like, no, I don't have brawl. I know that much about this character. Nope, no brawl. So too far.
Yeah, so you try to push it, but you're like struggling.
I'm hitting
with
him
the
in the
camera
face, maybe.
Yeah, you're like, and it's like, boom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ricky, you see Willie trying to get this thing off you. It's just sort of swiped at you. It looks like it's going to try again. What do you do?
So I still have an inspiration, which I'm going to have to use because I want to kill it with the big stick.
Oh, yeah.
So
Do
I'm going
it.
to try hit it.
Do it.
With a 24. That's
yeah.
just outside of a hard success.
You
It's
bring it up like this, and as it looks up and wails, you bring it down into its throat, and you hear this like as you stab this thing, and maybe you like bring it up and you go again like down into it. You can hear the cracking.
Keep on doing it long past its necessary.
Yeah, you're like,
yes.
You're screaming as it's like stabbing over and over again. And it sort of falls over, unmoving after a few moments. This bizarre-looking husk.
Ricky will stagger back, sit on his ass, just be like, point the flashlight at it.
I've never seen that in a National Geographic.
What was that?
I think that was Norman.
Who?
You take a picture of the body. Yeah, totally.
Norman, that sweet girl's boyfriend. I think this is him. He's got a full set of hair. He's got nice shoes.
Yeah, everyone give me a sanity roll, by the way, for watching this thing die as well.
Nice hair, nice shoes, and he's still walking around long past his expiration date.
Failed, 1d10.
Success.
Success, 1d6.
Why am I looking for a D10? I have a D10 right here.
You just rolled one.
I just took 10 or 9 more points.
I took
no.
8 out of 50. Ooh.
Do you want to roll for one of those big ones?
I mean, I've
Phobia?
definitely taken at least 5 if you're saying I would go temporarily insane, yeah?
Nah, I just want to give you a role-playing one. Like, I always like using them more in terms of, like, contextually something you'd be scared of, you know?
I don't have a chart of them right now.
I'm looking at some God, death, no. What would you have?
I think it's a D100. I'm just going to roll that and then try to pull it up. 83.
I'm a 36 out of 50. I don't know if that's...
no, you're fine.
A bad thing.
Like you lost 14 altogether?
Yeah, 8 and 6. Is that right?
Yeah. I feel like given the moment, maybe you're like really thirsty. Maybe you're like really thirsty. You're like, you know, I don't know what it'd be called. The opposite of hydrophobic, I suppose, where you're just like, you're dying for a drink right now.
I am water obsessed right now. Yeah. I love it. I just start coughing and my voice sounds really hoarse.
Yeah. And maybe you see the tent and you're like, maybe there's water in there.
Mm-hmm. I start like fishing around on my body and like, it's just my camera.
Yeah. Perfect. What do you guys do?
You okay, Willie?
Mama, I just need a minute. I think it's the body. I think it's just...
Don't look at it. Just don't look at it. Hey, point that light somewhere else.
And Ricky, as you point Ricky, you sort of move around and you point the light in the hole, and for the first time, Ricky, you're sort of looking around this, this muddy floor, and you realize there are tire tracks, and that this hole looks almost like it's been dug. And you sort of bend down, and you can almost see clear through to the other side. It looks like whatever was here might have been moved. You sort of get close to the hole, kind of on your own, and looking in, it's vacant.
He'll relay that to the people. I'm just it looks empty, which is more than I can say for out there. I'm gonna take a quick look inside here. Anyone wants to come? I'm just gonna crawl in for a bit, and he'll like have the flashlight ahead of him, just trying.
Be careful.
Yeah, into the hole or into the tent.
If he saw the hole was empty, he'll tentatively go into the hole.
Yeah, and as you do, you see these like almost bizarre looking burn marks on the base of this, and then on the walls you see these vine like holes that were carved where whatever this thing was must have stretched out and sort of hardened the landscape around it, but it's very clearly, especially now you see at the backside, it's been dug out and moved. There's nothing here.
The spot hidden wouldn't kind of be any use, would it? Just because it's very clear it's an empty.
Yeah, no, it's very clear. You feel really good about like seeing. You're like, I'd clean that.
Yeah, you go out and tell everyone like, yeah, man, it's bare in there. And tell them about the burns and the vine holes. Like it looks like whatever was here was big, pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
I want to go take a look at the collapsed tent.
Yeah, Iris, you walk over.
I'll follow Iris.
Yeah, the two of you walk over this tent and sort of unzip it, looking in the rustling, and you see it sort of fallen, and inside you see, a simple bedroll that's been left, and perhaps belonging to Norman, because this is a two-person tent, but only one person, and you don't catch that much off first glance. Why don't you give me a spot hidden?
Sure.
Good luck.
You know what? I'm gonna get different dice.
Different dice. Shame.
68, so I fail.
Okay, yeah, you don't see anything.
This is
What about you,
definitely a
Willie?
pre-gen because my spot hidden's 20.
Always bad.
Bad.
I got a hard success of spot hidden if we want.
Oh, you kind of look in beside. What about you, Willie?
So I was looking around. I was specifically looking for water and canteens, just
Yes.
like I'm sure they gotta have left one behind. It was stupid. I don't know why I'm so thirsty all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I just rolled 100
No!
looking for that water. So
Oh,
I don't know
no.
what's gonna happen to me.
Yeah, you do find a canteen, and you think it's water, and you go in and you grab it and you spin off the top, and you're drinking it like it's pouring down your face. It's so like you're just drinking and drinking and drinking, and it's not until
Do that again?
you're just drinking and drinking and drinking, just 2 drinks like this, and just
All the drinks.
And one big drink.
the one big drink.
This drink's huge.
Drinks.
Thumbs up.
And it's not until you feel something hard in the liquid that you kind of realize that this isn't water at all. It's too thick for water. It's too viscous. You sort of pour it out and you look down at the sort of the purplish blackish liquid in your hand, and you see this small worm sort of writhing back and forth. And
Ew.
yeah, give me a sanity roll.
Should I make a I was gonna ask sanity or constitution first. I assume both.
We'll do sanity. Yeah.
My sanity is a failure. Well, it always was a failure, actually. Yeah, boom. It's a 71.
Yeah, give me a. What's your sanity at?
It is currently at 38.
Yeah, give me a 1d10.
Ooh. 2, just 2 more.
Nice. Yeah,
Down
you
to
just
36.
you spit and you see Willie like run off vomiting.
Oh, what
And,
is this?
Ricky, as you sort of lean in behind you, your lamp falls on, sort of the items of the tent, but nothing sticks out until you step back and you realize, sort of on the inside, there's a name, Herbert Stevenson. It's sort of like written as of ownership, and an address, 65 Steel Lane. Willie, yeah, you cough up. You're sort of in the corner. You're coughing, and as you like get all this out, you're like leaning against a tree. You know, there's a moment where you sort of look up into that darkened wood, and you stare off at your surroundings for a moment, just letting them wash over you, and you get the feeling that something is watching you. Something is looking back at you.
I would look around the woods real quick. And I would also... Ooh, I got a 13 on spot hidden looking around the woods.
Yeah, there's an odd aura. As if the woods were expecting you. And while you don't catch the eye of anything, you feel uncomfortable having your hand against this tree. You sort of pull it back. And suddenly you want to leave this place.
Willie definitely wants to leave this place. He's getting nagging like things of like, I need to drink, and also going down to get water seems like a good idea. And I keep looking at that hole, but I'm like, he said there was nothing in there. There's no reason to go into that hole. These trees have roots that go so deep. What am I saying? This is crazy. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, Ricky will walk over, like pat him on the back. Hey,
Oh,
you all right?
you just this place. I think we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I
think we
got
should
an
go.
address from the tent. Yeah, I don't want to be here for another second.
Good. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. And you load up the jalopy a little bit more broken than when you arrived. And you head towards the house of Herbert Stevenson. The drive is quiet. The three of you sort of have a heavy weight between you at the reality of what you just experienced. And as you arrive at the home of Mr. Professor Stevenson, the dark sky looms overhead. The cold March air nips at your skin, and with a terrifying chill, you turn off the car to consider your approach. The house looks pretty lavish. It's quiet, though. The lights are off. It's maybe 2 stories, sorry, no, it's a bungalow. My apologies. But a large bungalow. It sits in a large lot.
Doesn't look like anyone's home. Should we go knock?
I mean, that is the polite thing to do.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. We leave the jalopy, head up the
Jalopy?
drive.
Potato. Yeah, you head across and up the small stone steps, and with a hollow thud, you hear your knock
I'm
echo.
nosy. I look in the window, too.
Yeah, you hear it echo inside. Yeah, you look in the window? Why don't you give me a spot hidden roll?
Oh, yeah, no problem. My best skill. Fail.
Oh, no. Yeah, so you knock, and everyone can give me a listen roll if they'd like.
It's real dark in there.
Just barely missed it.
Same.
Just barely missed it?
Yeah, missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you sort of stand there knocking at the door, waiting for someone to answer, but
No one does.
no one does.
Would it be possible? I know we haven't ever pushed rolls in this game, but I'd be willing to like press my ear against the window so that I can't see into the house, but be like, I don't know if that would be a push.
Absolutely, push it.
I will try to push.
Sorry,
this
what does that mean?
Push it
It's a
real
reroll
good.
for worse consequences.
You can re-roll,
Okay.
but the game master is allowed to impose whatever consequences you want if I fail this one. Yeah.
Right.
So, like, I can't see into the house. I'm doing the classic, like, press the ear against the glass. I'm almost, like, shutting my eyes, trying to listen. Nope. 61.
Oh, no!
I have failed my push
Oh,
it check.
no.
Yeah, you push your head, and then a bullet just whizzes through his brain, and his head explodes.
Dead.
Can you imagine? Just like dies.
There's just a sniper. Always.
Yeah. I'm gonna say you lean on the door, and as you lean on the door to listen, it's just like a little harder than you want, and the door opens, and you fall onto the floor of the front foyer like loudly. Yeah, you make this like loud clanging.
I
as you fall.
crash and like I grab on and knock it like something over.
Exactly. Yeah, you grab onto like a lamp, and it falls over, smashing.
Damn it.
And yeah, you're in the front foyer of this large house.
Shit.
Room service.
That's good.
It can't hurt to poke around a little bit.
No, not
I
at all.
might as well now.
There's
do
no
it
one
quickly.
home.
Yeah. You enter, obviously, and maybe shut the door behind you to be inconspicuous. So you're standing in this front foyer. There's a door to your immediate right, which is open. It looks like it's a receiving area, a reception of sort. There's a dusty couch you can kind of see the corner of. Straight before you is a door that is closed. Then there's an immediate opening to your left to a very small room which looks like a coat room. And then a little bit more forward to that same left is another closed door. So you have 4 doors out of this room. 2 of them open, one the coat room, one what looks like a reception room, and 2 of them closed, one directly across and one a little bit up to the left.
I'm gonna walk forward, my heels clicking on the tile or the hardwood or whatever the fuck, and open the closest closed door and just peek inside.
Yeah, and as you do, you see a bedroom.
Love it.
Yeah, it seems like immediately maybe the bedroom of a middle-aged man. Does anyone follow, or what are you two doing?
I'm gonna go
behind
to
with
one
the
of the
camera.
yeah. I'm going to one of the open rooms. You said it was like a dusty couch, and maybe that was just flavor. But
Yeah.
if Ricky sees a dusty couch, he's gonna go in and we'll be like, okay, I know what a used clean room looks like, but I want to spot hidden and check for, is it dusty to the point of there has been no activity for a while?
He knows dust.
He knows dust. Cool, yeah, okay. So you walk in, give me a spot in.
Fuck, I failed.
Okay, yeah. You walk in.
Too dusty.
It looks like it was a sitting room at one point, but you don't really see anything else. Willie and Iris, you enter this bedroom.
I'm not going in. I'm just in the doorway, and my flashlight passes over the quiet furniture.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you see a single bed, well used. There's a pair of shoes that lay at the foot of the bed, but you can't quite see any more.
She turns around and she says, "Bedroom," in like a loud stage whisper, and then sort of moves past to the other closed door and opens it.
Sure. Willie, do you...
I kind of glance into the bedroom and then just kind of follow after.
Okay. Anyone want to do a spot hidden in the room, or are you just sort of looking at because you can't even really see the full room. You're like just looking at...
You know what? I'll snap one photo and do a spot hidden check into
Okay.
there kind of as I'm passing by. Ooh, dang, I got a 5 on that spot hidden check.
Yay.
I got
Whoa.
lucky.
Okay. So that's an extreme?
Just barely a critical hit, extreme success.
Wow. Okay. I mean, you're still sort of in the doorway, but you do see 2 things that jump out immediately. One, you see a muddy pile with a pair of boots that have been kicked off or laying on their side. And you also notice lying open on the desk in the room, there seems to be a journal. It sort of strikes you as odd. And it looks like maybe from the room you smell a recently doused candle. Like it smells like that familiar scent of wax smoke, that's just been put out.
Okay, that's definitely creepy enough, especially lit up by the flash bulb for just that instant, that I'm going to go in and inspect. But I also don't think it's dangerous. Like I need to warn Iris that I'm doing this. So while she continues on to the next door, I lingered back for a second and I go, wait a minute. I snap the photo and then I smell the air and start walking inside and head over to look at the journal. That's where I'm fumbling for my flashlight and using the flashlight on the journal, but I'm also shining the flashlight over at that weird mud pile too.
Amazing. Yeah, so as you enter to the lounge, Iris, you notice it's a large room, larger couches that used to sit, many people stretch out before you in the dark. It's maybe an 80-foot long rectangular room. And there's a door that's slightly ajar to the north of this room that looks like it has a set of steps that lead down. And dirt is tracked through this room towards that door. I imagine, Ricky, maybe you join Willie in the bedroom, or do you head towards the lounge where Iris is?
He'll have, having found nothing, he's not going to be having just experienced what they experienced. He's going to go join the group. So he'll probably have seen Willie first if Iris went on. So, but if he hears Iris in the other room, he'll be like, "Hey Willie, come on, let's go." And we'll follow her.
Perfect. Yeah. And Willie, you just quickly glance at this open diary.
I do glance at it. Yeah.
Maybe you like pick it up with you and you walk as the three of you head out. And maybe as you enter the lounge, you see Iris like walking down these steps. And I think you all catch up nervously. And as you walk down the steps, I feel like you're orating this diary, Willie. And it reads this. It says, "It spoke to me. It revealed itself to me. That is not coincidence. I know I am destined for more than this. I will not allow weaker minds to lessen my achievements. I will nurture it and feed it. It will be my greatest achievement." And sort of as you're heading down these stairs, step after step, the smell of almost like moss and wet wood filling your nostrils. You see that you're exiting into like a wine cellar, and just next door there's sort of a crack in the door. And with your extreme success, which carries over, you sort of quickly flip through to a few days ago. It says Friday, March 10th, and you're still reading this as everyone is culminating in this wine cellar. And this door that's half open to another room, you almost sense movement in that room. And it says, "Lynn and Norman have shown me the odd-looking object, and I must say I am beyond intrigued. Something about it seems almost otherworldly. I did notice, however, that it does not like common household acids." And as you sort of stand there reading this book, Iris, I kind of imagine you maybe opening the door to the next room.
Oh, do.
And as you do, a knife sails out and goes to stab you. Give me a dexterity roll or a dodge roll.
Oh no!
Whoa.
I rolled a 99.
No.
You like hold your hand out and the knife goes through your hand. You're like screaming and it pushes you so hard it pushes your hand into your chest, like stabbing your hand. And standing before you, almost pushing her out of the open door, you see the wild, untamed eyes of Professor Stevenson. He looks towards you, pulling the knife back and turning towards the two of you, sort of screaming as he does. What do you do?
Me?
What do you do first?
I die? How much damage do I take?
Oh, you take like
So much damage?
4 points of damage.
Okay, great. I mean, after I scream, I stumble back and I fumble for my gun.
Nice.
That's the best thing I got.
Yeah, you grab your gun with bleeding hands as Stevenson stands there, sort of like ready to sort of dodge and run. Ricky, what do you do?
Yeah, Ricky will be taken aback at first, but then be like, "Hey, you can't do that!" And we'll try punch this person who's like, "You just got a knife, I'm fast, I'm quick."
Yeah, maybe you grab a bottle of wine from one of the shelves.
Whatever
and you
he
run
can
at
get,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, you run at him and you like give me a roll of brawl.
Can I also say, since Ricky, seeing this, could I just kind of bull rush him at the same moment as Ricky and give him advantage rather than try to do my own thing? I got no weapon, and I've got to protect my camera, so I just try to charge him with my head down.
So
give me
I
advantage.
failed, but you're saying you get advantage?
No, he gives you advantage.
I give you a reroll, basically.
Definitely got a 99, so...
Oh no.
Oh! That was great. Thank you. No, I failed by 4. Can I push that
use your
roll?
luck.
You can
Use
push
your
it.
luck.
You can use your luck. Use your luck.
your
I can
luck.
use luck. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Use luck.
I'll luck
Yeah,
it
you can
to,
definitely do that. Amazing.
4 points.
Yeah. Perfect. The two of you shove him into the room as Iris pulls her gun out and like starts busily loading it. The two of you fall into this room as you see it. The otherworldly object in the center of this room occupies almost the entire space. The roof of the basement hangs low with thin white strands of membrane-like roots that nearly touch you. Its presence is everywhere, and with a dull thrum you sense its breathing. Within the dirt beneath its large purple leaves, you see the corpses of 2 husk-like figures. One you immediately recognize as Andrew Nichols, the other you do not recognize, though she looks old and in comfortable clothing. but you bull rush this madman as he falls back towards the base of this creature. It immediately latches on with these white membranes to him, and you see his face begin to go gaunt as you start like beating him. I want you to give me a luck roll, Gary.
Okay. 38. I pass.
Yeah. And I want you to give me an attack roll, Iris.
All right.
Oh, and you too.
Oh, me too?
I'm going to aim for the plant.
Okay.
Ooh, I just succeed. Like 30.
Nice.
16.
Nice,
That is a
Willie.
Oh,
Give me a roll as well, man. For
Absolutely.
grapple or something. You're like in there, just doing it.
91. Not
Oh,
great.
no.
Not great.
Yeah, as you're sort of rolling back and forth, it's reaching this fever pitch as you see the life being sucked from this man before him. You actually start to lose some sanity. You're like holding this man, and you see almost the same liquid you drank. It's dripping from your mouth onto him, and you're starting to freak out as you feel it. There's this moment that takes you over, Willie. What does it look like as you start to lose it a little bit?
I'm imagining that his instinct to drink, he's starting to realize is like linked to this creature, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it just wants to drink too. No, what? And I'm like holding my head, like screaming, kind of.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and as you do, Ricky, you bring up the bottle and you smash it down on this guy's face, and you bring up the bottle just as Willie is screaming, and Iris lets off her shot, but the shot doesn't hit the creature. It hits the bottle. And in a smash, you see this wine spray everywhere. But the document that Willie read, it rings true. The acid in the wine immediately splashes on this creature, and you see it begin to writhe and scream in the basement as the walls begin to creak. The man, still losing his life, screams as you hear his skull crack beneath your fingers, and as you all freak out, you stand up looking at the house shaking. Its roots embedded in the walls are bringing it down. Everyone give me a dexterity roll as you run for the stairs, trying to reach this exit as fast as possible. Succeed?
64.
Nice. Yeah,
Fail.
Ricky's up the
Success.
stairs, freaking out. Willie is a success too. He runs up.
just barely by 7.
Iris, you're bleeding from your hand.
I break a heel as I'm
yeah.
trying to get up the stairs,
Yeah.
and I stumble and fall.
And as you do, you hear the creature screaming from the basement. It's writhing out as the walls shake. You make it to the stairs as you run through the door, slamming it behind you. And as you fall out to the street, the house shatters and collapses, leaving you alone on the quiet street. The three of you taking a breath of fresh air from the rotten basement. Telling the widow about what happened is a difficult time. To fully understand why she can't find her husband's body, for it is buried beneath the otherworldly remains of a creature that lies in the collapsed house that was Professor Stevens's, is too much of a leap for even her. So whatever story you ended up telling her doesn't sit entirely well with each of you. And yet, granted this new knowledge, you each decide to continue your quest for honesty, your quest for truth in the dark and unknowing world of Arkham. And we are going to end there for tonight,
On the
ladies
stroke
and
of 10.
gentlemen.
Nailed it.
That was awesome. Great job, Harlan.
Great job, guys. You killed it. Excellent job. Really fun. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us tonight. We need to do another round of applause. Thank you to everybody,
thank
first and
you.
foremost, who listened and hung out.
Don't forget to donate to Extra Life.
We didn't get any
Donate.
donations, but that's okay. We've had tons of donations already, and I want to say again, thank you. If you have the means, please consider it. Otherwise, join us on November 6th. Gary's going to stop by a little bit, I'm sure. It's going to be an absolute blast. We're going to be playing games and streaming the whole 24 hours. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for Tim for hanging out.
thanks,
Always a
Tim.
blast.
Thanks, Gary.
Sincerely, always invited. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful rest of your week. And as my good friend Tim always likes to say,
Good luck and good gaming.
good luck and good gaming. Good night, everyone.